questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right. Good morning once more to our listeners. We are in our cup chat segment. Look what I did not do, Roleza.
Oh, go in? Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. But we are in our cup chat segment here this morning. You're listening to WeFM with Activated Mornings with Roleza and Dianna. That is me. And we have our cup chat segment at this time. This morning, we have one person in studio with us, and that person is Miss Elika Matthews. Then we have Miss Elika Matthews, who is a counselor at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, and joining us via StreamYard joining us via the live, we have Mr. Elroy Kwame, who's a corporal of police in the witness care officer. And ODPPNPS. I think he will tell us what all of that stands for, right? And also Miss Andrea Hazel, who is the coordinator of the Employee Assistance Program. Good morning to you, everyone.
Good morning.
Pleasant good morning.
Miss Hazel? All right, Miss. Okay, try speaking again, Miss Hazel.
Good.
Okay, let's do it one more time.
In here.
Okay. Okay. If you unmute your mic a second for me, please, Miss Hazel. Hello.
She seems to be having some connection issues.
Yes, there seems to be a delay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So in the meantime, I will let the guests, as usual, introduce themselves. And in the case of Mr. Kwame, he may tell us what all those letters that I called out stands for. All right. So we will start with. Oh yes, how dare? Let's go back. So our topic this morning, it is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. It is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. So our guest in studio, the privilege is yours to begin with your introduction.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Elika Matthews, and I'm a counselor at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, by extension within the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and the Environment.
You don't want to tell us anything else about yourself? That's it?
Yeah.
All right. No problem. Miss Hazel? Right. So
yes, good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we just heard you.
Are you hearing me?
Yes. Are you hearing us?
Okay. I was saying good morning to everyone, and it's a pleasure to be in the program. I am Andrea Hazel, the coordinator of the Employee Assistance Program. It's a program that has been running for the last 2+ years, And it's a very good incentive for public servants to address their mental health needs. So I'm happy to share with you this morning a bit about it.
Okay. And then Mr. Kwame, Corporal Kwame.
Yes, good morning to Diana and Roleza and also my colleagues here on the panel. I want to extend good morning to the general public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the listening public, whether you're here or overseas. My name is Elroy Kwame. I am a police officer by profession, and I am also a forensic psychology professional as I hold a master's degree in forensic psychology, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and an associate's degree in psychology, and presently pursuing a PhD in forensic psychology. I am a witness care officer at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, National Prosecution Services. So that's what all the letters are for. So I'm very happy that I'm at least able to solve that little part of the puzzle. And it's a pleasure being here again.
All right. If you don't mind, Kwame, just explain to me or for us what a witness care officer is.
Okay, so witness care officer attached to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is responsible for the welfare of witnesses. And witnesses being, but anybody could be a witness as a matter of fact. So sometimes you have witnesses who need psychosocial assistance and help. Even basically somebody to talk to, somebody to follow up with them, someone to update them, enlighten them about the criminal justice system and the court system, and to guide them through that system, kind of preventing them from being second victimization, going through a second phase of victimization. So it's like softening the blow while you're going through because they're already victims. Some of them are. So it's like you're softening the blow as you go through the criminal justice system and you're a psychology professional assisting them. In some cases, you're just a police officer and a psychology professional assisting them through the process. So that's really what a witness care officer does. We are there for the witnesses. We provide whatever assistance that is needed for them to help them through to transition through the criminal justice system, the court system.
Okay.
All right. And I would like the counselor to explain. Now, I know that many persons, we hear about a counselor and we think, obviously, we know who a counselor is. But I would like you to outline some of the duties of a counselor so persons can know specifically these are some of the things that counselors do or are responsible for.
So, as a counselor, first and foremost, one of the main things that I do is provide individual counseling sessions for persons at mental health rehabilitation center, also within the public service, within the outer general public.
Mm.
So I am employed within the Employees Assistance Program as well as doing counseling services there.
Mm.
So that is one place where counseling services is offered to the workers.
Okay.
Additionally, from Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, I provide individual counseling, group counseling, family sessions as it relates to psychoeducation, talking to family members about their loved ones who may have a mental illness, what this means, what are some changes that they might need, how they can offer support. In addition, I do offer psychoeducational sessions in a general forum. So as it relates to mental health, it can cover a lot of different areas. So it could be psychoeducation as it relates to mental health in the workplace. I've done it within the church. I've done it within group activities, social clubs, different places, because basically we can integrate, and mental health is integrated into every aspect of
Yes.
our life.
Yeah.
So where possible, we inject the mental health conversation. I've done seminars, group sessions, forums, just to help to highlight mental health and to educate persons what are some of the signs and symptoms that they can look out for and what are some things that they can do. Additionally, I do provide psychosocial support services to the general public if there's a national disaster, a traumatic event where people are affected. So basically, I'm an all round as it relates to mental health
Oh,
and
definitely.
individuals in the midst
All
grenades.
right,
Okay.
lovely.
So I know that the word or the term mental health is generally bandied about, right?
Mhm.
Let's actually start there and define what mental health is all about. So maybe Miss Hazel, you could probably take this. What is mental health? What does it entail? What is it all about? All right.
Okay, I specifically would not be speaking mental health, so I would rather redirect that question to Ms. Matthews, as she is one of our counselors at the unit.
Okay.
Okay, so as it relates to mental health, when you think about mental health, I want you to think about your emotional, psychological, social well being. Every day, a person is going to be met with challenges. So, as it relates to mental health, it's your ability to adjust through the daily functions and roles. When person's mental health begins to decline, those are the major areas that you start to see decline. So persons are not communicating as they should, they're not engaging as they should, and they're behaving outside of the norm that they usually are. In addition, it can affect persons' ability to cope with the general stresses of life. So when a person is mentally healthy, they have good coping mechanisms, good social skills, good behavioral responses, and good emotional responses as well.
Okay. So, Hazel, I think I could ask you this one. So, for an employer, how important is it for them to pay attention to their employees' mental health?
Yes, that's very important because people are not machines. They have emotions, they have feelings, and things affect them. Work affect them. Sometimes they are not satisfied with, the way work is delegated. There are various issues, and some of these things can affect them psychologically, and thus they may not perform to the best of their ability, and productivity can lower within the organization, and this has an effect on the bottom line. So employers need to be fully aware and to pay attention to these things and to get the necessary help when employees are falling short of their goal. And so here is where the employee assistance is available to public service employees, because this is what it's specifically designed for, employees in the public service, and to direct them to the EAP to get the necessary help that they need.
Okay, so before we go any further, then let us, can you tell us what exactly is the Employee Assistance Program for those who may not be aware?
Right. So the employee assistance program is really a work-based intervention program. And the aim is really to assist public service employees, as I mentioned earlier, in resolving personal issues that may be adversely affecting their ability to perform effectively on the job. The primary goal of that program is really counseling. We do have a bit of training. We also partner with other stakeholders, to bring some sense of work-life balance to.
Oh,
Okay. All
okay.
right. So, what are some of its
Sorry, I'm
like?
not sure if you heard me.
Oh, yes, we did.
All right. What are some of these signs that an employer can see with maybe an individual employee or several persons within the workplace that may give cause for concern regarding to let persons know that someone may not be doing okay?
So I'll cut in here because I think
Okay,
Hazel.
so some of the things that you might be looking for is, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a so for listeners and Miss Hazel, there's actually a delay. So
Are you
that's the reason
hearing me?
there's a bit of a pause. So Miss Hazel, yes, you can go ahead, but there's a bit of a delay. Mhm.
Okay, so you would be looking for change in the employee's behavior, change in their pattern of doing things. For example, you might notice that an employee is now coming to work late, and this is not a normal pattern. You may find that the person is not interacting, the employee is not meeting their goals. The employee might be disruptive on the job, overly disruptive, always seem to be agitated, even when they're, given advice or instructions to do work. They might always be, picking a fight, behaviors that are not consistent with professionalism in the public service. It could reach as far as employees not taking care of the physical health in terms of, how they look, um, the way they dress to come to work. They might be unkempt, may not be, smelling good, for want of a better word. Um, so you can see that there are changes, that there are things that are not consistent with professional behavior in the public service. And these are red flags that the employer must pay attention to.
Miss
Kwame?
Matthews,
Oh.
you can you wanted to right?
I was just
Go ahead. I
I
fixed it.
was
It's
just
okay.
going to add in the instant that you could not reach Miss Hazel. But basically, we spend a large majority of time at work, so nobody's going to know you better than your coworkers, the person that's in charge. Because if you think about it, you spend about half of your awake hours at work and one third of your day at work. So persons at work are going to be able to say, okay, this is how this person is on a daily basis. And when person's mental health to decline, we might be the ones seeing it outside before persons are able to recognize something is. So Ms. Hazel did highlight some things that you can look out for as it relates to the workplace. Persons may be experiencing chronic fatigue. So you have a good day's rest, however, you're still feeling tired on the job, like you just can't function, like you're dragging on, for lack of a better word, with your day's activity. In addition, if your work takes concentration, you might find it difficult just to get the simple tasks that you do on a daily basis done. So you may find yourself having concentrating, increased irritability, so somebody asks you the simplest question in nicest tone, and you turn around and you're irritated, like, why are you asking me this? Or you're angry because people are engaging you to do the basic that you're supposed to do. Frequent absenteeism. So you may find persons just not motivated to come to work at all. And it's in day after day, they're handing in sick back to sick leave, and it's not necessarily a medical problem that can be accounted for, but the person just is unable to within that environment. Feeling overwhelmed by the tasks that they do. We're doing things on a daily basis. At this point, it's a rotation. You know what you do on a daily. I'm pretty sure you can come to work and do some of the things with your eyes closed. And you find yourself just overwhelmed by basic tasks that you're supposed to do. Withdrawing from person. if it is that that's the person who comes to work and they're like, good morning, and they're greeting everybody, or they're the person that gives little jokes throughout the day just to lift the work environment, and you see day after day they're starting to withdraw and pull back, that is something to pay attention to. There may be physical signs, stomach ache, headaches just associated with work. They come to work and all of a sudden they're feeling unwell. But when they leave the work environment, that starts to get better. Loss of interest in work, just not wanting to. So this person is a proactive person at work, but they come in the job and they just, I don't want to do anything. And the big one that we all struggle with, procrastination. We are now so disinterested because our mental health is declining that we're putting off tasks, we're not meeting deadlines, simple things like that. So, that are some of the things that you can look for in the workplace. You, as an employee, as your fellow coworkers looking around, these are the things that you can highlight and say, okay, I noticed a small shift. So it may be a mental health related issue, it may be something personal, but I would encourage you to get help.
Okay. And Kwame, from your vantage point, how do you recognize that maybe a witness's mental health is not well, or they're not well?
Right. So, along with witnesses, I would also be involved with interacting with other police officers and so on, and conducting, event session informally as well. And that is also important. Like my colleagues would have beautifully explained the symptoms that you will find. But I just really wanted to touch on and to sum up basically the point: low productivity within the workplace. That by itself, that is just like the overarching term or understanding of what my colleagues would have basically explained. So that is very important. But sometimes persons will come to work and they will vent and they will air what is happening to them. So you have to be able to listen to what they're saying. Persons would be asking and requesting for help in different ways. They may not come to you personally and say, okay, well, I need help because I'm suffering from this and I'm suffering from that. But they may come to work and say, y'all are stressing me out. I'm under stress, pressure, and all these kind of things. And people, instead of looking into what causes that issue, they look at it as an issue, a workplace issue. And so we have a problem that is ongoing. And we have persons who are on the workplace, they're not productive, they're suffering mentally, and they're not being given any form of assistance that they require. Now, as it relates to and as it relates to witnesses, now from the jump, persons who are affected by crime are usually affected psychologically as well. It's interlinked because victimization is linked to mental health problems. It not be on the larger spectrum of schizophrenia and so on and on the others, but it may be on the lower spectrum, maybe depression and anxiety. So, with the knowledge and the experience, when you speak and you're conducting sessions with witnesses or victims, you're able to see the signs. They may verbalize, oh, I'm not able to sleep well at night. I'm not able to eat well. I am, I have constant reminders and replays in my mind over and over. I'm not able to trust in cases of rape and sexual assault. I'm not able to trust men. Okay. I don't find myself having a partner in the future. These are the signs and symptoms. So when you're able to identify these these symptoms, you now would be more equipped to be able to provide the assistance in which they need to help them and to assist them through the process. Because I'll tell you this, it if you lack the ability to assist victims or witnesses through the process, we're basically just allowing them to be secondary victimized. So it's like not understanding what they're going through and what they're dealing with. You can risk putting through them through the same trauma over and over. And as I mentioned, trauma is very important to understand how trauma can affect the lives of witnesses, of victims, and persons in general. Because police officers are traumatized as well, based on their day-to-day jobs, based on going to crime scenes, seeing the different types of murders, dealing with victims who are basically transferring their feelings onto you. So, as police officers, there are a lot of police officers who may be traumatized and they still have to put on their uniform and they have to get out there and they still have to get the job done. So, it's very important to have professionals who understand and who are able to identify these symptoms, as we call them, or these signs, and be able to address them to increase productivity.
All right. I think we're gonna take an ad break here, and then we will be right back with our discussion.
Do you want to feel clean or refreshed after using the bathroom, whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seats. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean, be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry. We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business, yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Where is the justice for the 5 million enslaved Africans trafficked to the Caribbean? Think about it. Chattel slavery didn't just end. It left deep, painful scars across each Caribbean country. The deliberate underdevelopment, the brutal trauma and violence we inherited. It's time to repair this damage so we can build thriving, sustainable economies, where young people like us can dream big, achieve more, and live better lives right here in our own home. Do you see why repair matters? Stand with us. Join the cause for justice and sign the petition for reparations at repaircampaign.org/petition.
Looking to upgrade your home without breaking the bank? Now's the perfect time. District Stairs huge independent sale. Get up to 45% off on selected items, including luxury vinyl planks, waterproof laminate, crown molding, baseboards, and more. So whether you're transforming your floors or adding the perfect finishing touch with elegant trims, we've got you covered. Hurry on in today. These deals won't last long. Visit District Stairs in the Russell Shopping Mall at Stony Grounds and turn your home into the masterpiece it deserves to be. District Stairs, quality you can trust, prices you can afford. Call us right now, 456-7649.
3, 2, 1. WEFM.
chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right, and we are back with our cup chat right here on WeFM this morning. We are discussing the topic. It is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. In studio, we have Miss Alika Matthews, who is a counselor with the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center. Online, we have Miss Andrea Hazel, who is the coordinator of the Employees Assistance Program, and Mr. Elroy Kwame, who is a corporal of police, also a witness care officer in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. I got that correct, right? Wonderful. And so we were discussing it is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. So you can call to be a part of the program. You can call with your questions, 457-9997. All right. So my first question to you, before we took the break, each of you gave us some signs of when the mental health is declining, some signs to look out for. Now, I would like to know how do we get this message? Because this is one program, right? And we know the whole country not listening to the program right now. So how do we get this very important message across to employers and employees from now on? So what are some of these steps that we can take to get this message across to the employers and the employees across SPG?
So I would start by saying, excuse me, we all have to advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to hear this message from a workplace, and you have to decide, maybe I'm hearing this message because I should be advocating for mental health awareness in the workplace. So we start by being advocates, encourage your friends, family members just to advocate for mental wellness. What we want to do is to foster a supportive culture where we can talk about mental health.
Absolutely.
Where mental health becomes such a normalized part of the conversation that it's commonplace. Just like how we'd ask somebody, did you go to the clinic to check your hypertension, your diabetes?
Correct.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling today? How is your mental wellness? So first start by fostering that supportive environment where we can talk about mental health. And by doing so, there is going to be spill-off where we're going to recognize that that's a larger conversation that we need to have. It's a larger conversation that we need to bring to the workplace. We need to bring to our friend groups. We need to bring to the churches. We need to bring to the communities. So advocacy is one way to do that.
All right. Any contributions from Ms. Hazel and Kwame?
Yes. I really love that point that Eleka would have highlighted, because we definitely have to create an environment where people are comfortable to understand that mental health is important, and each and every one of us can be affected by mental health. I just want to use a short example. I attended the Mrs. Vichy pageant, and a question was raised to one of the contestants about mental health. and I was in the crowd. And when she mentioned that she has suffered from mental health issues, it's like the crowd were in an uproar. They were jeering and they were saying, "Oh, how could she mention something like that?" And that by itself stood out to me that people really don't understand what mental health is.
Yeah.
Because someone mentions, "Oh, I have been affected by mental health," they assume that you're crazy.
Yep.
And that's that, and we want to get rid of that mindset and that understanding, right? And just an addition to the conversation, you can foster an environment of understanding mental health through training. Okay, so it's a part of awareness, training your officers, training your supervisors and managers about mental health to be able to understand that you're responsible for employees and they may be affected by different mental health issues. So rather than putting them in an environment where it worsens, you're basically softening the blow, right? So training and advocacy, those are very important.
Okay, Miss Hazel. I'm not sure if you had anything to add to it.
Yeah, I would like to yes, just basically to concur with what Miss Matthews and Mr. Kwame said. Sensitization is very important because, mental health in our cultural context is a taboo to many. It's not, easily embraced, the discussion around mental health because, it comes with a stigma. And as Mr. Kwame said, when people think about mental health, they associate it with craziness. So when we talk about mental health, persons think that, you are crazy. Mental health is only about crazy people, but that is not the case. Mental health concerns everyone. And so it is important that we, continue with the sensitizations in order to break down the trust issues and that, the barriers surrounding mental health. And also, I want to bring in a bit about confidentiality here because I know even within the public service, as we continue to speak about the employee assistance program, how it's there to help persons. One of the things that employees are concerned about is the matter of confidentiality, and they think that the information is not safe with anyone, and so on. So we have to continue that discussion about how important mental health is, and if you're not ready to open up and share about what is affecting you, you may not be able to get the necessary help that you need. And also, yes, training is important. Supervisors need to be trained because they are the ones that we are expecting to help to identify, some of the issues we talk about in their employees, so that they can be fully aware of, how persons are affected mentally, so that, persons can, you know, be more open to this matter of mental health.
Oh, okay. So, Ms. Hazel, before we move from you, is it is a case where your particular unit, are you proactive in the sense where you go to different government departments or different government organizations and you have a conversation either with the employers or the employees about ways in which they can protect their mental health? Or is it more of a case where persons come to your unit to seek support? How does it actually work with your unit?
Well, the way we conduct the program is that we have to first sensitize the public service, members of the public service. So we go to them. We tell them about the program. Also, we have discussions with managers in the form of trainings, specialized training for supervisors. And so, once we convey that information to them, they are now open to wanting to use the program. And so they would come to the unit to use the services there. We also, we have counselors at the unit. The counselors also assist by taking our educational and preventative programs to the various ministries. And so we have topics that we look at, mental health in the workplace, managing stress, work-life balance, conflict management. These are some topics that we have developed, and so we take them into the ministries and departments and, share with persons, what to look for, how to prevent things that can affect your mental health. So yes, in that sense, we are proactive.
So
Okay,
just to plug, if you're unable or you just don't know what to do within the workplace, that's something that you can reach out to the EAP for. Like we feel like there's some tension in the office or we need to have a discussion about something and we don't know where to start. So you can reach out to the unit to get that level of assistance with regard to navigating that conversation.
And where is the unit located?
It is, would we call it bottom tongue, Miss Hazel?
The unit is located in Rose Place. I don't like to call it bottom tongue because the name bottom tongue has a stigma, but yes, it's in that area. And it was specifically placed down there because, counseling has a stigma associated with it. And we place it there out of the mainstream of the public service so that persons would have a bit of privacy in coming to to that location. So we are in the St. Vincent Automotive Co-op building on the second floor.
And number? What's the number, Miss Hazel?
Our number is the number is 570-6718. 570-6718.
And if you call the PBX, you can ask them to put you on to employees assistance.
Okay, lovely. Okay, lovely.
I love the fact that you made the consideration, of where to place your building, your units according to the situation. I really, really love that. So we mentioned some of the signs before. Now I would like some advice. I'm a practical person, so for those who are practical like me, some practical advice on what to do when you notice your mental health is declining. So for the employee and perhaps as well the employer.
So we will start by highlighting when you notice your mental health starts to decline, what are some of the aspects of your life that's being affected? Because it could be just work, it could be family life, it could be social engagement. So as it relates to your mental health, start by establishing what exactly is going on. Because I'm going to highlight sometimes you
have a call. So let's see the call quickly. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning to the panel there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So the persons we have in the studio, they are the police officers.
One person is a police officer, yes.
Okay. My question to them, whether or not which has been done as to who mostly affected by this mental case, whether females or males, who's mostly affected by this problem?
Okay.
So,
Interesting question.
mental health, it affects both men and women. I can't give you an exact statistic, but I can tell you at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, we have a higher population of male versus female. So it might be 1 to 2, 1 to 3, where females are on the lower end, and for every one female, you might have 2 to 3 males.
Okay. So you normally go to the mental health center to check on persons who are affected with this disease.
Yes, please. So I myself, I work at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center as a counselor. So it's a mixed panel. We have a police officer, Ms. Hazel with the Employees Assistance Program, and myself who works at Mental Health.
Okay. But what do you think is in the media a lot? Because I haven't heard anything about that, until this morning when you all came on with the program. But it's a good job. It's a good something good for the country, and I hope you all will continue to inform the public about this problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call, for your advice.
Okay, thanks, caller.
And this is a part of what the program is. We won't be able to talk about mental health 24/7, but in the instances where we are provided with the avenue, we try to do so.
And I just want to say one other thing as well. So, though we are looking at it from the context of a public service, because this discussion is cop chat, right? Remember that a lot of what is being discussed can also translate in the private sector or just an
Of
individual
course,
standpoint, right? So it's not just the
Workplace,
the
the
workplace,
public
right?
workplace.
The public service workplace. Okay. So you were saying,
Right. So as it relates to your mental health, so I was telling you that you have to be able to define what exactly has happened to your mental health, what is going wrong. So I always, when I do presentations, I start with, how are you doing? And a lot of times people will respond, I'm fine
Yep.
or good.
Yep.
What emotion is I'm fine or good? How do you break down that emotion?
That's the cover up.
So ladies, how are y'all doing this morning?
no, it's afraid to say I'm fine.
I know, right?
Because that's not an emotion. So are you happy? Are you sad? Are you depressed?
I'm content.
Are you okay, content?
I am. I'm happy in this moment. I'm happy in this moment right now. Yes.
Lovely. So define what are some of the things that's going wrong in your mental health and things to counteract it. Firstly, you can start by doing things to maintain your mental wellness. You don't, and nobody should ever wait until their mental health begins to decline to decide, I am going to do things for my mental wellness. Because it could be simple things. And on different days for different people, it's going to be different. So small things, making sure that you're getting your general checks. When was the last time you went to the doctor? Is your physical health intact? A lot of people don't realize this, but your physical health can affect your mental health. For example, if you have hypertension and it's really high, sometimes people may develop mental health related symptoms. So you have to pay attention to your physical health. So think to yourself, are you keeping active? Are you getting your exercise? Are you eating healthy? On a social scale, are you connected with others? Oftentimes we're feeling down, we're feeling sad, and the first thing we go in the house, we pull the sheet over our head, and we decide that we're just going to stay away from person. But ask yourself, how am I to get better if that's the environment I've created for myself? What you do when you are feeling down is going to impact your feelings and how you move forward. So you have to make a proactive effort to see, what are the things that I need to change? Is it that I need to engage with somebody? Is it that I need to seek professional help and attention? Practicing relaxation. When was the last time you did something just for relaxing sake? Relax. Ask yourself, do I need to integrate different things in my life? So if it is that I'm going to start a hobby, something that is fun, or just take a step back. A lot of us, because we're so passionate about what we do, we work. And we take that step back to recognize that we're sometimes overworking ourselves.
And I tell you something, right now in our society, I notice we have this thing where we're promoting overworking, team no people.
Yeah.
I am 100% against that. Yeah.
I am team in my bed by night.
Of course.
Also, being mindful of your substance abuse consumption and why you're abusing substances. So it's okay if we're going out, we're having wine, we're having drinks on a Friday night. But if you have to get up in the morning and drink just to make it through the day, then your mental health is declining. And I want to encourage persons when you see this decline, reach out for help. And reaching out for help doesn't mean coming and speaking to a counselor. It doesn't mean going to Mr. Kwame. It could be speaking to somebody that you're comfortable talking to, because sometimes it's just a conversation to clear your mind. It could be speaking to a pastor. It could be speaking to somebody within your community, family member that you have respect for. So when you think of help, I don't want to think, okay, if my mental health is declining, I have to go to mental health rehabilitation center. There are different avenues. If you find that it's so severe or you're experiencing specific symptoms, so let's say, for example, you're having suicidal thoughts, you're having homicidal thoughts, there are instances where you want to harm yourself. That is really important that you recognize if you're thinking about harming yourself, if you're coming up with a plan, we encourage you to reach out to mental health. Additionally, if you're having psychotic symptoms, so if you're hearing voices people aren't hearing, seeing things other people are seeing, those are the instances where we encourage you to reach out for help right away. Don't just wait. But if it is that you're feeling down, you're feeling sad, and you're feeling like things just aren't going in the way you would like them to, then you stop and you speak to somebody and do a mental evaluation of yourself at the end of the week. What type of week did I have? What do I need to improve? What do I need to make better? And before I stop, so that other people can contribute, being mindful of how you engage the conversation. As a Vincentian public, we love the word crazy. I am challenging the public to step away from that word.
Yes.
It is a derogatory term that people find offensive. It is a term that hinders people from getting help. Mental health can be very silent. It can be the thought of wanting to harm yourself. And that one word, I don't want people to call me crazy. If I reach out for help, can be the thing that stands in people's way. So I'm encouraging persons to move away from that statement.
Is there a support number that persons can call, a hotline number? So if any moment I'm not okay, don't want to speak to Dianna about it because I want to keep it private or with somebody who doesn't know me. Is there a support number that persons can call?
So we do not have a hotline number. During the day between 8 and 4, persons can call Mental Health Rehabilitation Center at 458-4240. They can call the hospital, ask to speak to one of the psychosocial members, the social worker, or the psychologist that is at the hospital. Persons are having thoughts of harming themselves, and it is at night, we're going to encourage you to try and see if you can get some level of assistance with getting to the EM department so that you can have some level of monitoring until you are able to see somebody.
Okay. Like we almost need to have several questions.
Yeah, and we're out.
We're almost out of time. So I just so from the vantage point of me recognizing that I am not okay. But what about, when you're going through what you're going through, sometimes you do it a lot in silence, but your friend or your coworker may realize that you are not okay. So what can I do as a friend or coworker when I realize that that person, that they're not okay? What can I do to support that person?
Okay, so if you are somebody that is comfortable enough with that person, I would encourage you to have a conversation with them. Let them know that for the last few weeks, I've just seen that you haven't been your normal self, and I don't know what you are experiencing at this present moment. And it may not be a conversation that I need to have, but I encourage you to reach out for help should it be necessary. If you are not as close with that person, I would encourage you to find somebody that has a closer relationship with them, encourage them. Because sometimes we miss the message but don't want to hear who it's coming from.
Yes.
So if you and I are not close and you come and tell me I'm not looking well, I might not pay you a second mind. But if it is that it's coming from somebody that is close with you, that you're accustomed to engaging with, then it may be better received, and they might say, yes, I need to get the help that I need.
I don't know if any of the other panelists wanted to add to the advice to persons when you notice that your health is declining. Do you have anything to add?
Or even in the case of Kwame, what support is there for police officers in particular? Who can they go to if they find themselves?
I've been having some problems with this mic for the longest one. Yes. So I mean, if you realize, and introspection is very important. Being able to look within yourself and be able to see and understand that you need help and you need assistance, and understanding that we're not an island and we need help. We depend on others, and we depend on others who have the experience to be able to help us through this difficult process. So once you're in that position, first of all, you must need to speak to someone, because many times and oftentimes we feel like we could deal with the problems on our own. And that's not really the truth. Sometimes we sink ourselves further below the surface by trying to deal with our problems on our own. So being able to connect with people, fostering good relationship or good relationship with someone, and to be able to point out to them, hey, I'm going through this. I'm really going through some problems. Please, you know, if you have any advice, and that must be a trusted person, because we have an issue where persons, they're not very trusting of others, because they feel by the time I speak to you about certain things, it's on the street, it's with someone else. So being able to connect with someone you trust is very important. Being physically active, that is also very important. Sometimes going to the gym, busting a sweat, as we say, you feel much better. I can tell you from personal experience. So that is also very important. Learning a new skill, giving to others. These are some different techniques that you can use to help to build yourself, right? And being very importantly, mindfulness. Paying attention to the present moment can improve your mental health well-being, right? And this may include just your thoughts or your feelings, your body, and your perception of the world around you. As it relates to police officers, there are a lot of police officers who are taking advantage of the EAP, the Employee Assistance Program. So at the end of the day, if it is, and I'm very approachable as well. Look, I have been dealing with counseling. I've been counseling professionals within the field, police officers, persons in general. Many times, I'm out on duty, even before I'm working here at the DPP's office, and people just feel comfortable with speaking with me, and I find myself conducting counseling sessions by the side of the road. These are the very same things. So I am always available. I make myself available. If it is that you feel like you, as a police officer, that you need to speak to someone immediately, you can contact me at the DPP's office. There's an extension, and it is very well known within the organization. So you can contact me via the DPP's office, or if you have my personal cell number, you can do so. And we can have I can set up a session with you. We can have a conversation, and we can plan a way forward. Okay, so. And then I even urge them, because I know and understand the importance of the EAP and getting to understand and the roles of the EAP. I know for a fact that a lot of police officers are, taking advantage of this opportunity. So I advise professionals within the fields, police officers, to take advantage of the resources that are available to them, whether it's through me or the EAP, or to a council that they're very trusting. Take advantage.
All right. So as we have to bring this session to a close, we're going to give each of you just 1 minute to give your final thoughts. So Miss Hazel, we will start with you.
Yes, I just want to echo the point Mr. Kwame made and to emphasize the role of the EAP. The government recognize that um, there, prior to the EAP, there was uncertainty as to where public servants are, going or what avenue was available to them to address their mental health needs. And so the EAP is made available to public servants and their immediate families. And I think persons should take advantage of it. It would be very beneficial to them.
Okay. Ladies first, Miss Matthews.
So I would encourage people to do a daily check-in with themselves to see how their mental health is doing. Don't just encourage yourself, but also encourage the persons around you. Your mental health is very important. I like to say, without mental health, there is no health, because if it starts to decline, it is going to impact every single area of your life.
Yep.
Yourself, how you engage with others, work, children, social life. So if you feel like your mental health is declining, please reach out for help. And if you're not comfortable to the point where you want to reach out to a professional, start with a trusted individual and move forward from there. And please, I also encourage persons to support each other in their mental health journey.
Kwame.
Right. I just want to wish one happy Mental Health Awareness Day, and I want to encourage persons to seek mental health counseling. Nothing is wrong with seeking mental health assistance, and I think that we have to start now by breaking the boundaries and the stigma that is affiliated with mental health. Understanding that it is okay to need mental health assistance. And as my friend Miss Matthews said, let's stop calling people crazy. We need to stop that, and we need to stop that from today. Okay, so that's my contribution.
All right. So just before we go, it's so unfortunate. Management, please forgive me, but it's so unfortunate that we did not have enough time, because I have several things that I consider to be very important I would have liked for us to bring out. Before we go, I have to say, as you heard the officer, you heard Miss Hazel, you heard Miss Matthews, I want to add to that, when we mentioned giving advice, we have to be careful of the advice that we give people when they come to us when they're having mental health issues. Some of the things that we usually say that I am telling you it is not okay to say is not you alone. Somebody else have it worse than you. All are we in the same boat? These do not help. So if you like to say this, please cut it out. Also, for those of you that are suffering with your mental health, it's important for you to know things that trigger you. The triggers would be those things that, whether it's something you see or something you hear, that is going to take you back to that place that brings pain and hurt. It is important to recognize what those are, to try your best to avoid them. It may be something like you can't watch certain movies because they're gonna get you all worked up and take you back to that place. Maybe you can't to certain songs or engage with certain people. And with that, I'm not gonna take us any longer. We're gonna end it right there this for the morning. So this morning we were discussing it is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. We have to talk about this topic some more, a lot more to everybody in the country know, right? So we had with us Miss Matthews, Alika Matthews, who's a counselor at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center. And we had Miss Andrea Hazel, who is the coordinator of the Employees Assistance Program, and Corporal Elroy Kwame, corporal in the police force, and the Witness Protection Officer in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
Excellent.
Thank you. And that was our cop chat for this morning. It was a wonderful discussion here. At this time, we are ending, and we will be bringing to you our PCCB currency exchange rates.
WEFM is SV.